Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Bianca, and I'm doing this video because I have asthma, and I've had it for years now. And I'm 22 years old, and I just got my asthma under control by only using technically one medication, having my emergency inhaler, and something else that I want to tell you guys that could probably help you guys with your asthma. So, Um, like I said, I'm making this video because I want to tell everybody my routine and what I do so that my asthma doesn't flare up and control me, rather me control it. And let me start off by saying I'm not a doctor, a physician of any sort. I'm just a girl who has experience because I do have asthma, and I was lucky to get mine under control. And nobody ever told me the things that could have helped me a long time ago. And I don't know, I went through a lot, but in the end, I just want to hopefully save somebody the struggle and let you guys know what I do. Maybe I can help somebody else. Okay, but enough rambling. And I hope this video is not too long. So, really quick, I'm just going to be explaining to you guys a few terms, exactly what asthma is, like I said, what I do, and I'm going to tell you guys the medicine that I use now. Alright, so let me start off by saying I was diagnosed with asthma when I was 2 years old, which is what I was told. I mean, honestly, I don't remember that far back. But, so 2 years old, and my triggers at that time, and asthma triggers are things that trigger off your asthma, were pollen, because I did have allergies, pet dander, exercise, and sickness whenever I would get sick, and just sudden change in weather, like between the seasons, whenever it was just transforming to another season, I would notice that I would just not feel too well. So I can remember probably around the age 5 and 6, that's when I really noticed that something was not right. I would try to go play with my friends and they could run and play without a problem, and then I'd be sitting there feeling uncomfortable in my chest. Now, before I go any further, just to let you guys know, and I'm just going to explain my definition of asthma, what happens to your lungs when you do have asthma. I didn't look this up or anything, but this is just from experience. So, your lungs, when you have asthma, because it is a disease of the lungs, a normal person's lungs, whenever they exercise or whatever triggers off your asthma, their lungs look like this, and everything is fine. But when you have asthma and a trigger occurs, your lungs restrict, and it's hard for you to get good breaths. A decent airway is difficult, and mucus forms around it, and it's often associated with wheezing and coughing, and it's extremely uncomfortable. And if you don't get it taken care of, you have an asthma attack, which is when your lungs just are bad and you need a breathing treatment. Okay, so fast forward, I'm trying not to ramble, to like age 10, my asthma started getting really bad. And my dad put me in a lot of sports. I played basketball, soccer, swimming. I think that's it for right now. But so yeah, every time I would go to play a sport, he would make me take my inhaler, which is albuterol. I got into the habit of taking it so I wouldn't have to feel uncomfortable. Couple puffs before I would go play an activity, because that was the main thing really that would cause my asthma, was exercise. So we thought that we had it under control. I can remember years after that, I would have asthma attacks, and um, I would go to the hospital and they would give me breathing treatments, which would leave me feeling uncomfortable and shaky. It's just not a good feeling to have an asthma attack, and it's scary as hell. I understand. So, fast forward to about age 19. Now, after all of this, I've been using this albuterol, which is fine, but like I said, it's supposed to be an emergency inhaler. Nobody ever explained this to me before. An emergency inhaler is something that you're supposed to use when you have your asthma under control, whenever you have like sudden flare-ups. So all this time, I have not had my asthma under control. So fast forward to the age of 19, like I said, at the time, my boyfriend at the time had got me a rabbit. And I don't know if you remember me saying this or not, but I am allergic to pet dander and it does trigger off my asthma. And my asthma was horrible. And this was in the summer. I can remember going to get breathing treatments, not exaggerating, in 1 month. I probably went about 10 times to the point where I knew the nurses by the first name. And what would they do? They would give me a breathing treatment and send me on my way. And I can remember being in a hospital bed one time and it was really bad. And I was crying. She was like, the nurse was like, well, why are you crying if you get these all the time? And I wanted to be like, seriously? Like, I can't breathe. People don't understand how serious and how severe asthma can be. It's scary. You're not breathing, really. You're struggling to get a breath. That is scary as hell. So after that, I'd had enough because I realized that they weren't doing anything for me. They weren't suggesting anything. I went to a lung specialist, and this was still about the age 19. And the guy like felt on my chest. He took some chest X-rays, and he told me that I had scarring on my lung. So I'm just like, okay, like thanks. I don't know. But he prescribed me, and this is no lie, about 6 medications. I was 19 years old, a healthy young adult. I'm not taking 6 medications for asthma. Like, no. And still nobody ever told me yet that you have to try to get your asthma under control, because if you don't try to get your asthma under control, you're just not going to be right. You're going to struggle. So come to find out, and this is nothing that the doctors told me. I really believe that since I was using albuterol, my emergency inhaler, since the age, 2 to at the time 19, it did some scarring to my lungs, because you're not supposed to use it every single day, really. You're only supposed to use it when you have like flare-ups, like I said before, when your asthma is under control. So I can remember after leaving that doctor's appointment with the lung specialist, I just sat in the car and I just cried because I was like, you know what? I gave up. I felt like my asthma was going to kill me. That's how bad my asthma was. It was to the point, I guess because of the rabbit, I would walk from upstairs to downstairs and have to take my inhaler. Scary feeling, right? Scary feeling. So, I went to college, and I had a really bad asthma attack up here. And I went to go see the school nurse. And she was just like, well, what do you use, you know, for your asthma? Like, what is it? And I said, my albuterol. And I said also this, which I'm pretty sure every person who has asthma has this. I call it my puffer. And I'm assuming it's just a way to ventilate the medication and get it in your lungs really good, because a lot of times whenever you take it like this, you don't get a proper breath. It might get like stuck in here and you want it to get down to your lungs. So this is what I told her, and she was just like, well then honey, your asthma is not under control. And that was the first time somebody ever told me your asthma is not under control. And then she told me something that might help me. So what she prescribed to me was Dulera. Dulera. And this is a sample size because I'm a poor college kid. I can't afford to go get this medicine, from a store. So, Dulera, and it's something that I use. I'm supposed to use it, and everybody else is supposed to use it. Puff it 2 times in the morning, and then 2 times at night before you go to bed. But honestly, because I have these little sample things that last me about a month, I really just do it 2 times in the morning, and then I continue my day. So this medicine, I swear, I've been using it now for about 3 years, is amazing. Amazing. It honestly, I really feel like it saved my life. And anybody with asthma who, can relate to me in any way, like if you have the same triggers, if you've been going through the same struggle, if you feel like this is not helping you, you don't have your asthma under control, you need to try this. It's really good, in all seriousness. So, of course you have to go to your doctor, but it's really working. I suggest it to anybody. Once again, I'm rambling. But one thing about this though, um, you have to be careful because when you use it, you have to rinse out your mouth whenever you get done, or else you'll get like a sore in your mouth. And I mean, that's about it. I haven't had any side effects. I literally take this 2 times before I start my day, and I don't need this emergency inhaler anymore. Like, I don't have any, I'd work out, so I don't have any tightness in my chest or anything throughout the day. So, also, this is just something that I suggest to everybody who has asthma, even if you don't have asthma, just people in general, work out, but especially for asthma people. Work out. Like, I'm not talking about, you don't have to do vigorous activity. I walk on an incline on the treadmill for a half an hour, and then I do like maybe I get on the elliptical a little bit. It's just cardio. Like, one thing that I learned about asthma is when you just sit still and you're not active, your lungs they just sit there, like they don't expand. Exercising expands your lungs. It makes you healthier on the inside so you can get better airway and you just feel better. Your asthma will be better under control. So, like I said, I take this once a day. I work out and I feel better. Like, I'm 22 years old and I have not had an asthma attack in like 3 years, and it's amazing. So I suggest Dulera to anybody who has asthma, like I said, who has the triggers like me. And asthma is not a joke. It's extremely serious. Like, I don't think people realize that. You have trouble breathing, which keeps you alive. That is scary. And you need to get your asthma under control, because if you don't get it under control, you're going to end up struggling with it for the rest of your life. It could go too far at one point, which is really scary to think about. Unfortunately, like I said, nobody really told me anything, so I'm left with like scar tissue on my lungs. But I'm just happy that I found the medication out so that it can't get any worse. So, like I said, and this is what it looks like. It'll probably be bigger. I don't know. Oh, one more thing before you use it, make sure you like, this is empty, but before you put it up to your mouth, like when you first get it, push it down 6 times, and that just gets rid of all the junk, and then I don't know, just use it. So I hope I helped somebody out there and gave you guys some type of information minus the rambling. But if you have any comments or anything, or you want to message me or subscribe or whatever, do that.